Hello, everyone. Welcome to Moon Mage. Today's tarot messages are connected to the full moon that's happening in Aquarius on August the 9th. And it is look at the image and pick an image of tarot messages. So if you're not interested in having a bit of a breakdown around what this full moon in Aquarius is bringing, the types of energies, etc., you can go ahead to the timestamps in the description box below and choose your message using your own intuition. But do have a look at those images before you decide, and just don't overthink it. Pick whichever one's calling to you most. Because even if those messages don't make sense to you right now, they may in the future. So really trust your own intuition. But for those of you that are interested in a quick overview about the energy that this full moon in Aquarius brings, I wrote some notes that I wouldn't forget things. So this full moon is noted or known as the sturgeon moon, which is a type of very bony fish. And why that's important is because they have a very unique skeletal makeup, and they inhabit both freshwater and saltwater. And this is very much connected to Aquarian energy. It's like the Aquarian nature is unique and quirky and offbeat, innovative and very flexible and adaptable, able to go with the flow like that freshwater versus saltwater energy and still thrive. So we really want to kind of embody that energy under this Aquarian moon. And just to say, all full moons highlight endings of some sort. They bring things to light. They bring things into culmination where we're finally seeing things and there's truths that are being revealed. But this one's especially connected to about the type of truth that helps us to release and let go of things that and places and people that are not serving us, old belief systems and patterns that are holding us back. This one is very much connected to that. But it's also opposing Leo, and this can bring some intense energy because there's polarity there, right? And we also have some intense retrograding happening. So this moon can be quite combative if we're not careful, like within, especially internally. Also revelatory, and it can be illuminating buried emotions, personal desires, but then also the frustration that comes with balancing personal wants and desires, which is Leo energy, versus the needs of the community, Aquarian energy. So this moon is really good for social networking, brainstorming, meditation, and asking yourself the question, how can I bring my gifts, my talents, my true authentic self to my community, to my relationships moving forward in the most authentic and real way? This could also bring the energy of breakthroughs, changes to plans, and sudden healing and revelations, which I think I already touched on, could come to light under this lunation, like out of the blue, unexpected. So expect the unexpected. And also, a hard energy to be mindful of is being too much in our own pride around things, being too prideful, and allowing that Aquarian rebellious nature to take a hold in a way that is going to manifest in a negative way. It's okay to push against something, but doing it in the best possible way that is not going to hurt or hinder anything is the way that you want to lean into that rebellious nature. But there is a lot of heightened anger that is coming with this full moon, unfortunately, being very quick-tempered, feeling like you're going to rage at moments. And so to know that ahead of time, I would say, is to be forewarned, is to be forearmed. So if you recognize that your temperature is rising, essentially that temper is starting to flare up, and you're feeling it in your body and your solar plexus, and on some level it's not going to help the situation, I do recommend taking a step back and just breathing a little bit, because you can make a situation become more difficult because we're having a hard time disciplining our emotions. So I guess that would be another thing to be mindful of, just to keep discipline around our emotions. It's okay to have them, to feel them, but be careful how we allow them to be brought out with others in the community, because it could have far-reaching consequences. So watch out for that hot temper under this full moon energy. And that's going to start now and carry on for a while past this full moon. So for the next week or so, just be really mindful of your energy. And I would say, when you have the chance, my body is my temple, use meditation, journaling, quiet time, pause, reflect. Can be really helpful for you moving through this energy, especially if we are coming to truths about ourselves and our emotional energy and our patterns, because sometimes that can be really hard looking at ourselves that way, but also positive in the long run. So just some things to keep in mind. Now, if you're still here, give yourself a second, go back and look at those images, and I will get started here with message number 1, and we'll look at the energies that may be showing up for you and some advice and guidance to go along with that. All right, so I'm going to get started with message 1. Hello, message 1. What do my beautiful message 1s need to know about this lunation, this full moon in Aquarius? What's it highlighting for them? Message 1. Ooh, okay. It's a new moon in Libra energy, and it says a new romantic cycle begins. Okay. So even though this is a full moon in Aquarius, there is energy around connection and community. And it feels like if this is showing up for you, you might have done some hard work lately, message 1, where you really have gotten into your emotional body and dug out the things that maybe hold you back from romantic connection, or this could be what challenges you. Either way, this is showing up because the time is right for a new romantic cycle to begin for you. So staying open to that is probably going to be a very good idea. And I would also say, pay attention to when the next new moon in Libra is happening. I believe that that'll be sometime in the end of September. So don't quote me on that, but in and around that time, because that could be a significant time for romance to come in as well for you. Oh, okay. I'm going to try that. Nope. Okay, that just wants to flip right over. So we're going to take it. Okay, we've got Be Humble energy, and this is first quarter moon in Leo, and we are in Leo season right now, right? So, and I find that this sort of energy has been showing up a lot for myself included, and I really feel like it's connected to don't allow our own personal needs and desires to be so loud and so big that we forget that we're all here to connect in some way, whether it's romantically or otherwise. We're not here on this earth plane all by ourselves, trying to do earth life all by ourselves. And so I feel like there's a little bit of a message there about being open, being open, especially to other ideas, viewpoints, and opinions, and to maybe doing things differently than what you might have thought, or going places or trying new dating things in a different way. I feel like that's that Be Humble energy. Look at this, and look what comes out on the other side of that. New moon in Aries, that new moon energy again, go for it. Fiery and passionate. I definitely think that there's some fears, probably a bit of a guarded heart due to past situations, especially in romance, where they didn't work out. Maybe you lost yourself a little bit, because this full moon in Aquarius is all about reconnecting to our authentic self and bringing that part of us to relationships, to the community, and not hiding it. And I really feel like it's time for you to step up in that way. But I suspect that it's been difficult for you, and you've had to play defense a lot with people, especially in connections and relationships. And perhaps that has caused you to show up in a very particular way. But maybe it's time to humble that part of yourself, to quiet that part, to heal it out, so that you can make way and space for moving forward with more openness and maybe less defensiveness and rigidity. And I'm not here to say that you guys are being that, just that maybe there's potential for you to show up the way because of past pain, because you're being given a red light essentially around something new love. You know what's funny is that sometimes I have noticed this too. You see this sort of thing online, that energy of they must have all these things on my checklist in order for it to work, because I don't want to put up with what I went through in the past. I feel like maybe being a little bit flexible about what you feel a person should be or look like or show up as on paper, maybe being a little bit more relaxed with that. Of course, you have the free will to choose, but I feel like that's something. So I keep seeing like this, I keep feeling this energy rather of throw away the list. So there, it might be something to do with that for some of you. This is general, so that won't resonate with all of you. All right. Okay. Ooh. I'm sorry, defenselessness, righting past wrongs and uprooting. Ooh, I wonder if for some of you, this is about rekindling, reigniting, moving through hardship and conflict with an existing partner. And there's an opportunity to reverse all this harder, heavier, crunchy energy. Kind of lowering your barriers, removing those defenses, and allowing your heart to be open so that there can be true healing around a connection. Ooh, I think that's going to be a thing for some of you. Look at that. I'm sorry. Uprooting the real problem, the emotion behind the situation. We do that a lot. We can mask how we really feel and instead show up ready to fight and argue. And with this defenselessness, righting past wrongs and uprooting, I feel like that's a part of the equation. And, you know, for others that are not dealing with a harder relationship that you're trying to heal and bring resolution and peace back into, I feel like it's a personal journey for you to uproot the energy where you feel less than, where you've experienced pain, where you had to fight for yourself, or you lost yourself, and now there's fear moving forward. So we show up very guarded and very rigid in what we think that we will only accept moving forward. This is kind of deep, and it feels like doing a deep dive into your emotions here, message 1. Look at that. Cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Yeah. Shifts and changes really want to show up for you. New love, new connection, more positive energy wants to be shipped your way. And I feel like there's a lot of resistance maybe on your side, message 1, because of things that have happened in the past, because of the way that you've been burned. Also resistance to healing at a particular relationship, allowing and trusting that it's going in the right direction, you know, still having your defenses up. And this is saying, you know, you've already hit that rock bottom. It's time to surrender this energy and allow a shift and a change to happen. And I think that maybe for some of you, it's very hard to trust. I understand why, because I can feel very heavy, hard. I'm never going to put myself through this again energy. Ooh, doors are opening. You decide, rewards and wild card, kind of suggesting that you really do have the free will to choose in this situation. Do I go left or right? Do I go right? Do I heal this or do I not? Do I open myself up and relax my barriers and my ideas around romance and just let it come in? Or do I not? Like, you have the ability to allow the timeline to stay as it is and move towards it, especially in that new moon and Libra energy, or push it back for a little while and say, no, I'm not ready. I have more healing to do. It just feels like there is opportunity to shift and change this energy now, message 1. It's all here, right? With surrender to the alchemy of life, changes want to come in. There is good timing for positive energy, new love and life to be breathed into an existing relationship, or to have you moved towards a new one. It's up to you whether you decide to walk through that portal of opportunity, though. Okay, this is such a good card for Aquarius. Full moon in Aquarius is all about being quirky and a little different, a little offbeat and weird, and being authentic, and only that, right? Showing up only in our authenticity, Leo, versus the Aquarian energy. And it's saying you're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness, face your true north. Yes, only show up as you. Don't hide those weird parts of yourself, or that you've deemed weird or strange, or that maybe were not appreciated by a past partner, or maybe that you've been hiding from an existing partner. Bring them out full force. It's okay. If they're not well received, then those aren't your people, or that's not your person. Truly, message 1. Okay. So now we've got wait. It's not yet time. Things are being woven. And that's that energy up here, right? Of moving through this. Sorry, no, it's down here. I'm sorry, defenselessness, righting past wrongs, uprooting, and then that rock bottom, needing to surrender certain energies, thoughts, and ideas, allowing change to happen. This is where we're starting. This is what's been on the side of challenge, being humble, relaxing our thoughts, beliefs, the narrative, the story that we've been telling ourselves. This is what you're waiting to do. Don't make any hasty decisions. I feel like this is a bit of a heads up for my message 1 choosers. Don't make any quick or hasty decisions without having all the information. Allow this full moon in Aquarian energy to really illuminate maybe some buried emotions, how you truly feel, what you need to uproot in the situation before you make any major decisions. Yeah, things are being woven. And you're a part of that weaver. You know what it makes me think of and feel is spider energy. It's like the spider's always needing to weave her web, right? And the web we weave today is the web we weave tomorrow. It's like the story you're spinning. Make sure that we're spinning a good story for ourselves. One that includes our biggest dreams, our hopes. One that includes us showing up as our beautiful, authentic, quirky self. Okay, on the bottom of this, guys, karmic relationships. Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, and conflict. Yeah, all the hard things, all the difficult things you've been going through. And I'm sure you're going to be like, yeah, okay, you know, F off, lady. It's meant to grow your soul. It can become a lesson that you learn from and become the best version of yourself as a result, or it can hinder us and create a negative pattern that we keep operating from. One where we feel like we have to fight and defend and accept no less than only what we've decided we should have. Just be mindful of that. You are going through karmic relationships. You have in the past. You're either being offered up an opportunity to heal an existing relationship and make that karma come into a beautiful balance, or you're being offered the opportunity to clear any of this past pain so that you're ready when this new romantic cycle begins to say yes to a new connection where none of this energy exists anymore, because you're whole and you're healed and you're in your power again. You're in your truth, your authenticity. Hopefully that makes some sense. Can you see that card there? Yes. Okay. I'm going to pull some energy cards here. Oh, okay. There we go. Ooh, angelic frequency. Angels are here. You are safe. Potent connection. Wow, this makes me wonder. I wonder if some of you have already connected to a new person and that maybe this becomes a bigger, broader thing later down the line. It doesn't have to. It can just be happening for you now. But I want to highlight that it says you are safe. And I definitely feel like you have your defenses up. You have dug your heels in a little bit about how things should look and what they should be for good reason from the past, but it's about uprooting that. And for others, I feel like there's just so much energy around healing for an existing connection, whether it's a healing that brings a healthy end or a healthy new beginning that you can feel good about. It's there. Calling in your angels right now, doing some meditation, connecting. I feel like it's going to make you feel a lot better and a lot safer, because this is saying potent connection. You have a strong, powerful, potent connection to the angels right now, but giving yourself a little bit of time here and there to connect to it is going to be such a good idea for you. I also think it'll help reveal for some of you some emotional truths that you've buried, that you've hidden even from yourself, like from your own psyche, that come to light. They're no longer subconscious. You become conscious of them. Shambhala initiations, retreating to recharge, trusting in the process, and Dharma. Yep, that's what we're talking about, right? That exact energy of taking a step back, making some time for meditation, contemplation, reflection, especially before making a decision, because you got a heads up here of wait. It's not yet time. Things are being woven, right? We need to work on this energy up here and uproot some things. And under this lunation, you will likely receive messaging, wisdom, aha, energy, understanding around yourself, your emotions, your situation. And I feel like it's so that you can release a lot of things that you don't bring forward with you, because a new cycle definitely wants to begin. Retreating to recharge, trusting the process, and Dharma. Yeah. Look at moving towards your golden castles in the sky. That feels really nice. It feels very, it's interesting because I feel like this energy, and I don't say this lightly, I almost feel like it's almost guaranteed for those of you that get really serious about pausing, reflecting, taking time for meditation. It just almost feels like you're guaranteed to receive something, insight, wisdom, understanding. You're going to uproot that thing, that pain, that pattern, that emotional disconnect that you haven't maybe seen or understood about yourself, or another, maybe for some of you as well. All right. Ooh, star seed, raise the vibration of the planet through your radiant, loving light. So if you ever wanted to know if why you feel so different and weird and quirky compared to others, it's probably because you have star seed origins. You're not of this earth and you're just trying to exist within it. And I just feel like it's another reiteration of be yourself. Your energy, your weirdness, your quirk is what the world needs. Nobody else can do it like you. You're unique, and we need that uniqueness. And so do your future connections or your existing ones. So no, not hiding that part of yourself. I also think for some of you, it's just a heads up that you are this, that you, if you feel like maybe I am from another planet or I'm this star seed energy, I think that you're right. That's your yes. Look at this stillness. Reflect on this moment with love, kindness, and compassion. Stillness. That kind of connects to that humble energy too, right? Be humble. Kind of use your kid gloves in whatever difficulty you've been going through, whatever conflict you're dealing with in your connections or within your own personal heart space and your own emotional body. Yeah, use kindness and compassion. Reflect. Take this time for stillness and reflection. I feel like it's going to be such a powerful, potent time for you if you do. Very revelatory is what I'm trying to say. All right. I'm just going to cap this off with a final message from the animal spirits and guides. I don't know if you need to hear this, male or female, but that Christina Aguilera song keeps playing through my head. You are beautiful. Words can't bring you down. I wonder if somebody has said something very negative to you about the way that you look or something. And if that is a thing and it's really kept you inward and guarded and made you feel less than or not good enough, it's time to address that because you are beautiful inside and out. Hippopotamus energy, and it says exploration. If you have become bored with your life, you have the creative power to stir things up and revitalize everything. You can do this by starting new projects, setting new goals, and making spiritual connections. And guys, that last line, making spiritual connections, angelic frequency, being asked to step back, stillness, recharge and trusting the process. I really feel like that's the biggest message here. But of course, doing anything that's creative, that's a new project that might invoke joy within you is always a good idea. Always a good idea because it brings a higher frequency to our energetic body, to ourself. And I definitely think that's a thing here for you guys. Okay. On the bottom is eagle and vision. It is time to look inward with an attentive eye. Allow your heart to guide you, and opportunities you never dreamed were possible will present themselves when you least expect it. Get ready for greatness. Ooh, I love that message for you guys. We're going to put that one there. Yeah. I love this for you guys. This feels really beautiful. Exploration and vision. Yeah. And I feel like exploring your patterns and beliefs that have maybe stifled this or cause you to dim your own personal light in a lot of way. Once we open that and we go into that stillness to heal this out, I feel like this broadens and expands in the best way, bringing you the right people, the right situations, bringing healing to existing situations, all good things. All right, guys, I'm going to leave that there. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful day and really give yourself over to a bit of reflection, meditation, and maybe journaling under this full moon in Aquarius. Take care, guys. Hello, message 2. What do my beautiful message 2s need to know with the energy coming in for them around this full moon in Aquarius? Okay, we're going to take that because it fell out. Meditate and contemplate new moon energy. There was new moon energy that showed up in message 1 too. Meditate and contemplate new moon in Pisces energy. So Piscean energy is connected to intuition, spirit, but also being careful to not get caught up in illusion or delusion. And maybe you're feeling confused or a little lost right now. All the more reason to kind of pull down and pull on the positive aspects of Piscean energy, which is, spiritual connection, flexibility, flow, things of that nature. Either way, this full moon is offering a really good opportunity for you to meditate and contemplate. And if it's showing up, it's because there's likely clarity that will come with this, positive clarity, good spiritual connection, and intuition being heightened as a result. Oh, Lord. Okay. That was really quick. So we have this one and this one. Both fell out. So we're going to go with this one here on the side of challenge first because it fell out first. It just didn't show up in the camera. It says new moon in Leo. We're in Leo season right now, and it says shine. Shine. Where are you holding back? Where do you need to shine more? Where do you need to step up into the spotlight more in your life? Perhaps this is something that you need to meditate and contemplate on, maybe why you hold yourself back or how you've maybe dimmed your own shine to some degree. Either way, because it's on the side of challenge, it's what's wanting to manifest and bloom through you and as you is this ability to stand up and shine and be seen. First quarter moon in Taurus, so Taurian energy, release, control. Taurian energy is often very rigid and fixed in nature, and perhaps there's something within you that is holding on too tight to a particular idea, notion, right? That new moon in Piscean energy, meditate and contemplate, is more dreamy. I should have said that. I should have touched on dreams. It's dreamy and contemplative and open and in flow and open to new ways of thinking and new ideas. So I think that there's a connection to that, and this will help you to be able to step up and shine in some way, shine your light more brightly without being so fixed and rigid in what that should look like or how that should come to be, if that makes sense. Really needing to release control around something. And I find, type A personalities tend to have a hard time releasing control. Always wanting to know what's going to happen, always having a plan for everything. But this kind of feels like the opposite of what's needed or being offered to you at the time of this lunation, right? Because Aquarian energy is very flexible, it's very adaptable, it's very innovative and creative. And then leaning into that energy with this new moon in Pisces energy, I feel like is going to be so positive for you, more dreamy, more inspired. More kind of like connecting to the big, scary dream that would likely feel best rather than the one that feels safest. There's something to that for me as well for some of my message 2 choosers. Let's pull some more cards though and see what else shows up here. A fixed nature. I keep thinking about having a fixed nature. Like that person who, I feel like maybe you're somebody who is the person to call when problems need to be solved. Like you're a fixer and a doer and a go-getter. I feel like Capricorn energy maybe for some of you. Ambitious as well, but it's almost like kind of facing the opposite direction and leaning more into these energies that you're likely not as comfortable with at this time. Sorry guys, a lot of throat clearing. I went from having the cold to getting rid of the cold to now having bad allergies. Surrender to the sweetness. Venus energy. Pleasure, joy, and make love to life. Woo! Nice. And it's coming on the side of challenge, right? Releasing control. Big connection to that as well. And Venus energy does really well inside of Taurus. It's somebody who's creative. It's beautiful. It's beautifying. It brings in all kinds of lovely, wonderful things. So there's a big connection to leading into the most positive Taurus aspects rather than the harder, crunchier ones. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. And I think make more room in your life for just relaxation, joyful time, happy times, things that just feel good but maybe aren't necessarily productive. Jump in, Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. Okay. There is such a strong energy around this surrender to this, whatever it is that you're trying to have complete and total control around, or where you feel very fixed in it. And it's been really difficult for you to think outside the box. Aquarian energy will help with that under this lunation. Aquarian is very quirky and out of the box thinking energy. You're really going to want to utilize this energy at this time because I feel like it wants to bring you something that will help you feel lighter, like you can relax more, like you can lean more into joy and pleasure. And I think it's also going to bring new ideas and inspirations for a lot of my message 2 choosers. Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. Yeah, it's just this feeling of maybe you could do things a little bit differently that actually results in better results in some kind of way and brings more peace and pleasure into your life, but not having been able to touch on that. All the more reason to go back to the original energy of meditate and contemplate under this lunation. Star bathing, light body, crystal grid, transmission, and activation. So this is what sort of comes as a result of you taking a time out for meditation, contemplation, personal reflection. You can do this, through walking meditation, spending time in nature, just journaling your thoughts, your feelings, just being at peace somewhere. And I think that you're going to receive some sort of activation if you do, an up-leveling of sorts. Okay. We the Hathers, deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. Wow. Okay. This light body activation, there's like epiphany energy that wants to come through, angelic assistance or connection, spiritual connection that is very activating. I feel like it's going to take you in a direction that you would not have anticipated, but that's really, really positive. But there really is this need to nurture your soul, to do something that lightens your energy, your physical body, that just brings like that energy of, I keep saying that word energy, but the emotional and mental release, like just breathing out, calm, peace. It feels so necessary. And I don't think that you're somebody who really allows yourself a lot of time for peace and tranquility, but it feels like it could be the most productive thing that you do for yourself over the next few days. Being nurturing yourself in this way, birth as a portal, and then this star bathing energy. This is what you're being asked to do. And you receive some sort of an activation, an understanding, epiphanies. This is a very revelatory full moon. It does bring a lot of revelation and truths coming to surface, seeing things in a new light. I feel like this is absolutely something that wants to happen for you as well. Message 2. Activated earth. Power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. I think that you are spirit, the universe is trying to say, we have something for you. It's not what you were thinking. It's not what you've been thinking. It's not even maybe an idea at this point, but we want to plant the seed. We want to bring you this answer, this situation, this new inspiration. It's going to feel a little out of left field. It's going to feel a little different, especially because you won't have all the answers around how it could all turn out, but it's ultimately going to be for your best and highest good. We just need you to be receptive to this, a little less busy with your energetic field of physically, mentally, and emotionally, to be more relaxed and open to get this to you and through you. It definitely feels like to you and through you. Like this major up-leveling with that star bathing of your energetic field, which then in turn opened you up more to this innovative, inspired, creative idea of some sort, where you're just like, oh my gosh, I see it. I have this wisdom. I have this knowledge. I need to run with this idea. Okay. Wow, this was the same underbelly card as message 1, which I find really interesting. Karmic relationships, Orion energy, polarity, soul growth, and conflict. Okay. I think that perhaps some of you have had to dig your heels in and be really strong in your ideas, thoughts, opinions, having your hand in everything, and you need to hold on to a lot of control because you've been dealing with hard connections and this kind of conflicting energy. But this is the underbelly, right, of the situation, what's been causing the strife and your feelings of need for control affecting your ability to connect to something new or a different way forward, a new idea. And it's sort of suggesting we can deal with this energy, then all the rest comes to follow, right? Where you can lighten your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, where you can relax a little bit more. So looking at the connections in your life that are creating this tension, and I think maybe seeking out ways to bring more lightness to them. And I feel like for you guys, that might be like saying, you know what? I'm not going to go at this right again. I'm going to release control around this. Whatever will be, will be. I need to make me and self-care a priority right now. And then all of a sudden things start moving, epiphanies come, situations start to change and shift in a really great and positive way, it feels like. Okay. Pull some more cards. I was just thinking about, because I was just noticing that the moon is blue. And I was like, once in a blue moon. This happens once in a blue moon. There's something to that energy for me, for you guys. I gotta stop saying the word energy. But something that only would come around once in a blue moon, like very rare, something rare coming through. That wants to come through. That's what I'm feeling like for you guys. The central sun, abundance, downloads, regeneration, and success. Love that for you guys. I feel like this is the result of you taking this time out and surrendering to the sweetness of life and leaning into pleasure and joy. And as it says, making love to life, releasing control. Solar energy, solar fire, ambitious, where you're like, oh my gosh, I see the light. I see the truth. I understand. I know what to do. And it's so different than what I would have ever thought, but I'm just going to follow it and trust it. You're going to get downloads that will lead to some sort of abundance, regeneration, and success. Love that for you guys. Emerald tablet activation, cosmic ordering. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Divine alchemy and conscious manifesting. That's the thing. It's about conscious manifesting, right? Not just sort of being stuck in the day-to-day grind and the mundane aspects of life and having tunnel vision in that way. It's about expansiveness, looking outside the box. Aquarian energy is always saying, look outside the box. Be a little bit quirky with this, a little bit more innovative. That's what this energy is bringing to you. A cosmic ordering, divine alchemy, and conscious manifesting. So you're being asked to manifest consciously, not about what you think you can have and what seems more realistic, but what you really want. The big scary dream, the beautiful vision. And you have this ability to get things in divine order for yourself and have this alchemy and this beautiful energetic shift happen as a result, right? Because we've got transmission and activation here as well. Okay. Let's pull a couple more cards here, guys. I really feel like it feels to me, message 2, like the last thing that you think or feel you should be doing is taking your foot off the gas pedal. Like you have to go do, be productive, make it happen. And that the least productive thing you could do is let yourself relax a little bit. Is to take yourself out of a particular conflict or situation. And yet this reading is suggesting it would be the most productive thing that you could do because of what it will lead to. Signs. The universe has been gently nudging you forward by revealing to you signs and synchronicities. But if we're too busy to see them, we miss them, right? This is so connected to the rest of reading. So paying attention to signs right now is a really good idea for you guys. You are being guided. You are being directed. I just feel like the universe, spirit world has so much to offer by way of ideas and innovation and what to do. But when we're so busy, we miss them, right? So paying attention to signs. Look at this abundance again. You've got abundance, downloads, regeneration, and success, and then you've got abundance. When your heart's intention is to serve humanity, doors of abundance naturally open. And that really leans on not settling for that low-hanging fruit, what just feels realistic. It's about keeping the vision of the bigger, beautiful, broader dream that seems harder and for further out of reach, but is absolutely the right dream. It's the one that you're capable of, even if it doesn't feel like it. So checking in with your heart too, right? Excuse me. Your heart knows what's best. Your heart has wisdom. We often shut off the wisdom of our heart and just follow what our mind's telling us, but you're being asked to do the opposite right now. Because as this says, when your heart's intention is to serve, all the doors of abundance just naturally open for you. And it's coming with that emerald green card too, right? With the emerald tablet, green energy, heart chakra energy. Okay, I'm going to cap this off with one final message. All right. Oh gosh, I grabbed two, so guess what? It's going to be two. Dog and loyalty. You may be feeling like those around you let you down or are not doing their fair share of work. This comes as a reminder that loyalty exists and you must not settle for anything less. You deserve better than mixed signals. Wow. It's that energy of not settling for the low-hanging fruit, which has been showing up in all my readings, of this temptation to want to do that for all of us in some way. You're being told to look at the people that you are loyal to, the situations that you're loyal to that just aren't serving you, because there is a need for something new, saying yes to change, a new adventure. You shine brightly and abundance comes in. No longer having to deal with karmic relationships that have been really difficult for you. So just keep this in mind, message two. Give yourself over to contemplating what that is looking like for you. And have you surrounded yourself with the right people and situations? As this says, you deserve better than mixed signals. I wonder if some of you have also had to deal with a difficult partner, or in dating, difficult people in dating. This is general, so that won't speak to all of you, but perhaps some of you. Oh, hippopotamus. This also came out in message one. There's a little bit of overlap from message one to message two. So if some of you weren't sure, you may want to go back and look at that reading. Exploration. If you have become bored with your life, you have the creative power to stir things up and revitalize everything. You can do this by starting new projects, setting new goals, and making spiritual connections. So everything that we've talked about in this reading, it's time to explore. It's time to embrace new beginnings, adventure, new people, situations, surrendering to the sweetness of life, because all signs literally point to it's going to connect you to success and abundance of some kind. And I feel like that's manyfold. It's success in financial things and career, purpose, passion, but I also feel like in connection and relationships as well. It's just needing to release this control and surrender to this time out energy. That's crazy. All right. Message two. I think I will leave that there. I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful day and really give yourself over to meditation, contemplation, self-care, reflection. I think it's going to be so empowering and so revelatory. I hope you guys all have an amazing day. Take care. Hello, message three. What do my beautiful message three choosers need to know or understand about the energy coming in around the full moon in Aquarius? What's showing up for message three? All right. Okay. Believe in the impossible. Blue moon. You know what's really funny is that my last message, I had a blue moon up there, and I talked about something about blue moon. Something about blue moon. It keeps coming to my mind. Something that only, once in a blue moon, like rare, something rare. If you were watching message two and now you're watching message three, I feel like there's some sort of connection there. Believe in the impossible. Blue moon. So something rare coming in, something that you would never have dreamed or imagined could be possible. It's on the cards. It's on the table for you. It's becoming possible. It is possible. It just requires your faith, trust, and belief, which is difficult. I know as humans, we tend to always think about why something is more impossible than it is. Okay, two cards fell out again. That happened in my last reading as well. So we're going to go with, you know what? I'm going to flip them over because I'm not entirely sure which one fell out first. So, and one is side of challenge and one is side of advice. So Okay, so we've got Scorpio energy, last quarter moon in Scorpio, so that's watery energy. And it says, reveal what needs to be seen. So something in the shadow or in the shadow self that we might be avoiding, something difficult, or maybe in our lives that we don't want to look at because we know emotionally it means we might have to make a hard choice. You're being asked to not resist this, to be open to it, and to allow it to be seen and understood and connected to in an emotional way. Reveal what needs to be seen. And it's showing up at a time that you're capable of doing this, of having that revelatory energy, which is very apparent at this time. It's very much the Aquarian theme for this full moon is revelations, truths being revealed, especially in unexpected ways. Yeah, reveal what needs to be seen. But I feel like this is a buried thing within you. Message 3. Yeah, clear your mind. And it's last quarter moon in Gemini, air energy. We're under Aquarian energy, which is also air energy. So you could be definitely overthinking. And all that noise in your mind is creating a disconnect with your emotional self that knows what needs to be seen and understood by you on a mental, but more importantly, emotional level. It's time to clear your mind. There's so much energy coming in under this full moon around reflection, contemplation, and meditation, because it's going to be very revealing. It connects us to things that we didn't see, didn't understand, parts of ourselves that we buried. And you're no exception here, message 3. I'm just trying to decide what it is that I'm feeling about this connection to believe in the impossible. I feel like some of you might have some sort of intuitive hit, I'll say, and just intuition that comes to the surface that you're like, there's no way that can be it, or that I could do that thing. And yet it is the thing. And spirit, the universe wants you to believe in this fully and completely, even though it seems impossible. General, so that's not going to make sense for all of you, but I think it's a thing for some of you. Let's pull some more cards. Okay. Those will be a part of the equation, I believe, anyways, so we'll go with that. Loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. Reveal what needs to be seen. Believe in the impossible. What are you holding on really tight to? What is taking up all the space, fear, worry, overthinking in your mind that's creating some sort of disconnect from I'm going to say your spiritual self, your soul self, that the higher you, that knows better, that believes, that trusts, that understands that everything that you might be experiencing or going through is for a reason. And the other side of it is something beautiful, because believe in the impossible. So what coping mechanisms are you using at this time that could be causing you to feel disconnected from that soul self, where you recognize that it's not helping but hindering your situation? As it says, let God in. Make space for spiritual connection, for connection to your higher self, to your inner knowing, your internal compass. Defenselessness, writing past wrongs, and uprooting. I'm sorry. Hard, heavy energy here, message 3, that you've been dealing with. What needs to be seen? Where have you felt defenseless? Where do you feel like you need to right past wrongs? What maybe energy are you holding on to that's not allowing you to forgive yourself or others, that is affecting you in a way that stops beautiful things from showing up for you, whether it's connections, situations, following your passions and your purpose, where the beautiful, impossible thing actually shows up for you. There's something held in your emotional body that is creating a block to this more beautiful, positive energy that wants to show up. Yeah, right. Uprooting. It's that strong energy under this lunation around uprooting emotional things, which I did touch on in my intro. But a lot of us could have revelations around emotional things that we've been holding on to that we couldn't see before, that were subconscious, become conscious. what we do with them is really going to matter under this lunation. And message 3, I really feel like that's extra important for you guys, because it'll help bring clarity to you and your situation. You got the love, Hadarian energy, codependency and boundaries. Yeah. And, you know, codependency is a form of addiction too. Like maybe you showing up for everybody in a way that stops you from blooming in your full self and your true authenticity, and following things that would be better for you or best for you. And conversely, perhaps maybe you have found yourself being too dependent on others to maybe fill your emotional cup, that proverbial cup. That I'm not saying that that's the case, but for some of you it could be. And it's this pattern of behavior that needs to be released, that needs to be seen, but it's difficult. I also think for some of you, just pain and trauma that you've buried, because that is hard. That's hard hitting healing work, but you're coming into a time where this can be seen in a way and released and let go of in a way that has you moving into a brand new cycle in your life, one that's much lighter, I feel. Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. Which is really interesting that you wish you had. I really don't feel like you guys have had many of my message 3 choosers. I don't think that you've had the best upbringing or childhood experiences, whether it's with your family or with friends, where I still think you had the support that you needed or the love that you needed. And I think this wants to shift and change for you. As it says, forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. But, you know, we can do that in a way without losing ourselves to other people's problems and situations, right? Because we have codependency and boundaries here. So being mindful of that. Empathic starseed. Energetic sovereignty. Absorbing what's not yours. Okay. Message 3. You are extremely empathic, especially based on the energy that's happening here. So much so that layers upon layers of emotional heaviness and dissonance and disconnect could be not even yours. It's just you're taking it from everybody else, right? All the more reason to have those boundaries where you can't even get to where your emotions begin and somebody else's ends. And that's the big ask here. You have the ability to be a very empowered, empathic starseed type energy, to show up for others, to be a leader, to forge a new path filled with lots of love and light, I feel. But what are we holding on to emotionally from the past? What energies are others bringing to us that we're absorbing and taking on like they're our own to solve when they're not? It's this kind of energy that you're being asked to look at under this lunation. Yeah, needing your own energetic sovereignty. Putting rituals and things in place to disconnect from other people's energy. You know, I feel like this would be especially true for those of you who do any kind of healing work where, you know, you're hands-on, but not even if you're hands-on, just where you're communicating, you're helping and guiding. For whatever reason, I think of Reiki healers with this one. You don't have to be that for that to be the case, but it's that kind of like closeness where you would really be taking on other people's stuff, or any public service. Being in public service where lots of people are coming in and out of your energetic field, essentially. But you're absorbing too much of other people's stuff and you can't even get to the bottom of your own stuff that needs to be uprooted and seen and understood. Maybe you're even so heavy that you can't understand why you've been so heavy. And this lunation is going to provide the opportunity to see that a lot of it isn't even yours. I feel like that could definitely be a thing. Also, I wonder if some of you, I feel like a very strong spiritual energy here from a message 3 choosers. Being that empathic starseed, you probably have latent gifts, talents, and abilities that you dismiss, disregard, or don't give enough time, attention, and love to. Maybe you're even like saying, no, that can't be true. I can't do that. And you can. And I think that's part of this impossibility. Like you're dismissing, oh, I didn't connect to that. I didn't get that right. I'm not really psychic, you know, that kind of energy, but you are. And on the bottom of the deck of this card is spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time, the blue flame. Ooh, looking for blue flame meditations would be a really good idea for you guys. Message 3. Also, trying to connect into the most powerful and empowering aspects of this full moon. I have a 5-minute meditation. If you're interested, you could try that as well. But doing a blue flame meditation would be a really good idea for you. I think that you're quite powerful, message 3. You don't realize it, or you're not trusting that you are. You're not believing in that impossibility that you have all these powers and talents. Maybe you're trying to rationalize them, and Spirit's like, no, it's us. You do have it. You are connecting. You're not crazy. I think that this is a part of your story here under this full moon, about realizing this about yourself, trusting it, but healing out things that aren't yours, and really, really creating that energetic sovereignty. It feels like that's of the utmost importance for you guys, because you have this spontaneous awakening and activation that wants to happen, to be integrated into your body. But when we're holding everybody's stuff and we're doing for everybody, and we're also holding our own emotional pain, activation is very difficult, right? Because we aren't ready to receive the next up leveling in our lives. And I feel like that's what Spirit and Universe is highlighting. You're ready for it. We just got to do this bit of work here first. Orion activation, supernova, recreation, renewal, rebirthed by light. Blue flame light. I really think that you guys should do some sort of meditation around this. I'm just going to, because this says spontaneous awakening, activation, and it's time to integrate that light, right? With the spontaneous activation. And then you've got Orion energy, supernova, recreation. Is that recreation? Recreation. Renewal, rebirthed by light. Rebirthed by light. It's like star bathing energy as well. This is something that really wants to happen for you, message 3. That, and I would say take a little bit of time, because you've got empathic star seed here. Look up the Orion energy. See if it resonates with you in any way, or any other star systems connected to Orion's belt. See if you find some sort of emotional connection, resonance with anything from that energy. Look up Orion star seeds and other star systems in the belt and see, because I feel like you might reconnect to this lost aspect of yourself. You're rebirthed by light. And I think you are also quite rare in your energy and what you bring. And I think that maybe you have not fully appreciated that rarity about yourself. Aquarius energy is so great for embracing our quirks. That's what it asks us to do, to be quirky and think outside the box and be our weird, authentic selves. Heather light codes, light immersion. Wow. Full system upgrade, power recall. Whew. Message 3. All of this is literally on the table and on the cards for you at this time. You're really being asked to step back and sort this energy out, uproot the pain, the hurt, release the things, the emotions, and all the things that you've taken on that aren't yours, or ways that maybe you've been coping with the fact that you are very spiritually and psychically inclined, and how that has affected your ability to maybe not feel crazy at times. You're being asked to be open to this, to release the stuff that's not helping you, to create those boundaries, because you are seriously ready for a massive upgrade to your energy. And it's only going to awaken more gifts and talents. And, that can be a little scary. That can evoke a lot of fear if we're not ready for it. This is your heads up. It's time to get ready for it. You are powerful. Believe that you are. Believe in impossibilities, because I think there's a major up-leveling that wants to show up for you. But we have to start on the side of challenge, the things that are hard for us first, and work on those and release those. And, really being honest with yourself and taking a good look at your coping mechanisms. Are they helping or hindering? All right. One more shuffle there. Okay. Free spirit. I feel like there's a little bit of a message here to free your own spirit. But to be a free spirit is to float without walls, to fly without judgment, and to love without conditions. I love that message for you guys. This is about embracing the free spirit within you that I feel like is a bit caged, stuck, and buried deep within your psyche in some way, right? Especially with reveal what needs to be seen. It's time to free your spirit and become and embody that free spirit. As it says, to be a free spirit is to float without walls, to fly without judgment, and to love without conditions. Signs. The universe has been gently nudging you forward by revealing to you signs and synchronicities. But I feel like maybe some of you haven't been paying as much attention because, you know, we're up in the mind. Our mind's really loud right now, that Gemini energy, holding two different ideas, thoughts, opinions. That can be tricky as well. It's about releasing yourself from that monkey mind, as I like to call it, and paying attention to the signs and synchronicities. Because I feel like not only have they been all around you and maybe missed at times, but they're coming in more. That more wants to come in. They're going to come in a lot hotter and stronger as we move forward. All right, I'm going to cap this off with a final message here. You know something? I've been so pulled to this I'm sorry card, defenselessness, righting past wrongs, and uprooting something. I almost wonder if some of you are going to have or have been thinking about doing like a past life meditation. What would connect you to maybe energy that you can't quite figure out or sort out for yourself that evokes fear or worry, and making some sort of connection to a past life where you're like, oh my gosh, now I see why I've been carrying this heaviness, this fear, this worry. It was never from this lifetime. I could never place it, but now I see it, and I'm going to cut the cord to that past life energy so that I can move forward in this life. Okay, so 2 cards. I'll show you. 2 cards just flew out right here. It wasn't in the camera, but I promise they fell out. We've got raccoon energy, letting go. This message has to do with things to which you cling, be it a thought form, habit, creed, or situation. The time has come for letting go. Something is halting your progress and you are spinning your wheels. Once you embrace change, blessings will follow. I love that for you guys, right? Reveal what needs to be seen. Clear your mind. Letting go of what's been. Blessings will follow. I love that. Look at that. Ladybug and luck. Your goals are about to manifest in remarkable ways. Dreams are coming to fruition. Stop and enjoy this moment. It is important to let things flow at their natural pace. Rest assured that in due course of time, your wishes will come true. Yeah, ladybug and luck on your side. And coming down the road, I feel like after this lunation, this is when you'll start to feel this energy shift for you, and you really do have luck that is going to be on your side. So pay attention to if you start to see ladybugs, whether physically out in nature or, you know, in artwork or online or on tattoos, whatever it is. I feel like that'll be letting you know, that'll be Spirit's way of sending a sign that you're on the right track and you've done some of the hard, shadowy work and emotional things and up-leveled your energy and you're going in the right direction. But we first must do the letting go work here. All right, message 3. I am going to leave that there. And I hope all of you have the most amazing and beautiful day and really give yourself over to this up-leveling that wants to happen around this lunation. I think it's going to be so profound and activating for you guys. But be ready for it. Take care, guys. Hello, message 4. Okay. What does my message 4 need to know about the energy that's coming in with this full moon in Aquarius? What's it highlighting for message 4? Okay, I'm going to go with this card because it flipped right over. What do you need to release? Wow, this full moon is bringing so much need for letting go and release. What do you need to release? And it's waning moon, right? And it's that winter energy, right? So winter always makes me feel like hibernation mode. It's time to step back. It's time to get cozy with ourself, with our emotions and our feelings. There's something about that here for me, for you guys. What do you need to release? What are you holding on to that you probably know is not best for you to be holding on to, that's hindering you in some way? Let's pull some more cards to go with that. I can honestly say never have I felt a full moon that has brought so much attention to needing to kind of be reflective at this time. Aquarius, right? It says you need to be authentic. You need to think outside the box. You need to be more innovative and forward thinking and, you know, embracing your weirdness and quirkiness. But hey, we can't do that because there's all these little blocks in the way. And this full moon's really, really bringing the need for massive release. And because it's a full moon, it shows us what we need to let go of. It shows us what we've been resisting, what's been hiding in our subconscious or lurking in the dark. And this definitely feels like a thing for you guys. Okay, we've got Capricorn energy, and it's coming on the side of challenge, and it's new moon in Capricorn. Step up and lead. Where are you afraid to take the lead in your life? What story or narrative have you been telling yourself and following that is just simply not true anymore? It's likely negative. It's likely keeping you smaller than you're meant to be. And this is suggesting, because it's been such a challenge for you, that you're entirely capable of this. But what are you holding on to that's affecting your ability to do this? Message 4. Last quarter moon in Virgo, attend to the details. Okay, so needing to release something, needing to let go so that we can step up and lead. Perhaps we've been avoiding having to go over the frustrating stuff, the logistical things that are just not fun or interesting, but necessary in order to have a thing move forward or take shape or form or to even be built upon. What are those little details that you need to look at? Not only like on a real physical level to do with something, but also internally. The little things that are just acting like little internal bugs picking at you and bugging at you and tormenting you mentally, with thoughts and feelings and opinions that just aren't serving you well, and maybe needing to look at those, right? And some of those, for some of you, I feel like that's the details that you need to look at, the hard details. But for others, I think it's quite physical because it's Virgo energy to Earth energy. And it will help you to step up and lead if you feel like you've dotted your I's and crossed your T's. But what is the block that's stopping you from doing this? This is the big question to contemplate under this full moon energy. For you guys, message 4. I keep getting this feeling of you're far more powerful than you realize. There's been a big disconnect to your sense of power and what you are capable of doing. What's the story around that, message 4? I feel like there's definitely a narrative or a story there. Like the story I'm telling myself is, but is it true? And my feeling here is that it's not. Because you've got 2 earth energies, meaning you can definitely create something at this time on this earth plane that is worth its weight in gold, that is a good thing, that's positive, that will see growth. And for others, if it's in a relationship sense, it's taking the lead in that relationship and bringing up the hard things that maybe you've both been avoiding. This is general, so that won't resonate with all of you. But for some of you, like, I'm dealing with hard things in my relationships, holding on to something there. And I'm maybe holding back from taking the lead and just bringing attention to the things that need to be dealt with and released. And you're being asked to step up and take the lead in that situation. Lost lands, soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. Ooh. Okay, so with this coming out, I definitely think for more of you, this is about a passion, a purpose that you're meant to follow, and that you're meant to create something of value that will be of value for others in some kind of way eventually as well, if they're not already. But you have gifts and talents that are lying dormant right now that want to come up more fully, but there's blocks to them, right? It's time to release these things. Soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. So in like other lifetimes, you've been the strong, powerful leader of some sort. Your life is a canvas. Ooh, artist, manifestation, creative accountability. Okay, so you're likely somebody who's very creative, and creativity does not just mean writing, drawing, or painting, though it definitely could for some of you. Creative means being a creative mind in all things, in business as well. And it doesn't matter what the business is. You're just maybe somebody that has the ability to create something, again, of value. Entrepreneurial spirit, I'm definitely feeling that. Your life is a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative accountability. Yeah, you have the ability to create something beautiful here, message 4. But there's definitely a block as to why you don't lean into this more fully. Jump in, Andromedan energy, adventure, say yes to change. Coming under, what do you need to release? What's blocking you from doing this? Everything keeps coming back to that for me, for you guys, message 4. What's the block there? Be willing to look at that. Okay, the seas of Mintaka, seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. Yep, that's the thing, right? Where you don't feel clear, where you feel a little bit disconnected, where you're not understanding the details that need to be attended to, where there's a block to this new gift, this soul memory of gifts and talents that you could bring up and develop more fully. There's potential. You've likely connected to the potential of this, but there's something unconscious that needs to be released and brought to light in order for you to feel like you can say yes to change and jump into things. This is what you want to focus on. What is that thing? Forge, don't follow. Pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. Step up and lead. Do not sit on your laurels at this time. Message 4. Do not wait for the approval of others or for some sort of perfectionism to come through around you, about you, where you feel like you're not good enough with something, especially if it's creative. You are. And the more you lean into this energy and forge a path and not follow and be that leader that you wish you had, the more that I feel like you're going to open to the abundance of this thing that you're doing, this purpose, this passion project. Your abilities, they get up-leveled. Right? As it says, you've done this before. You've soul memories that want to be brought to the surface for you. Almost, it's almost like that movie, Good Will Hunting. And he talks about how he could just play when it came to how intelligent he was. Things just made sense to him. It feels like that for you guys. I'm not saying like, oh, you're going to be geniuses. Maybe you are. But this feeling of doing a thing that you maybe thought was going to be really hard ends up being far easier than you could have imagined. And it just feels like you have done it before. It's just making sense to you in the best way. And it's going to create this domino effect of positive things as a result. Okay, and now on the bottom, we've got trust the timing. Trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. Interesting, right? Because we've also got that attend to the details. So not trying to force or push something before it's quite ready, before you're quite ready for it to be fully developed and manifested and put out there. Really wanting to understand that we've got a bit of a block, that we have a soul memory and gifts that want to manifest. We've got some new things that are showing up that we should be saying, or at least considering saying yes to, that are going to be really good for you. So don't be too hasty with what it is that you're doing at this time or trying to cultivate. It's sort of like there's more cultivation that needs to be had. There's more to come that's going to be ultimately fantastic if you allow. It's just about trying to figure out what we're holding on to, right? Let's pull some more cards here for you guys. The seas of Mintaka, the seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light. I feel like for some of you guys, salt baths, I've been saying this a lot lately. I've been feeling this healing brings, like salt baths bring so much healing to so many of us right now. But you in particular, I think would really benefit from something like that. Especially by way of connecting to this soul memory and gift that you have. All right. Sacred inner space. Okay, sacral chakra. Tenderness and sensuality. Okay, so our sacral chakra is responsible for our emotions, how we feel. We hold guilt there, shame there, but we also hold creativity, nurturing, intuition, emotional connection. And that makes so much sense with this water energy. I was feeling like you in particular, maybe some of your water signs, would really benefit from creating a sacred space for healing for yourself with salt water. I feel like it would really help with that sacral chakra. You need to embrace this part of yourself, your divine feminine, male or female, it doesn't matter. The divine feminine that's creative, that's nurturing. Excuse me. Where that tenderness energy lives, it'll only help you connect more to your soul memories and your gifts and your talents, to that creativity of artistry and stuff as well. There's so much connection to the divine feminine here for group 4. But I think that that's part of where some of these blocks are. right? And then we think of stepping up and leading, and that's the solar energy. That's the divine masculine. So I feel like maybe there's an imbalance there for you guys, is what I'm in a long-winded way trying to say. Okay, now we've got throat chakra, temple of truth, throat chakra, authenticity and self-expression. Okay, well, the full moon in Aquarius, Aquarian energy in general is all about being our authentic, weird, offbeat, quirky selves. Which parts of you are you not allowing? Which parts of those aspects of yourself that you might think are a little weird or strange are you not expressing? Because they need to be expressed by you. So there may be a block and some sort of release that needs to happen both in the sacral chakra and in the throat chakra. And you know what's funny? I feel like I'm having this memory of they're actually very connected. There is a connection from the sacral chakra to the throat chakra. Maybe look that up. I feel like that will be beneficial to you guys if you do. I feel like there is some strange connection to those two chakras, even though that between those two chakras is the heart chakra and the solar plexus. But there is a connection. Something here, though, is acting as a block in the throat area. So your form of self-expression, creativity, communication, and your sacral, where you hold intuition, your emotional body, your sense of beauty, internally out, artistry energy, that kind of stuff, maternal, nurturing energy. These are the two that need some healing, I feel here, in order to get you into this beautiful energy of embracing adventure, starting something new, taking the lead on something, creating something from the ground up, it feels like for you guys. I very, very much like feel entrepreneurial spirit here. Meant to take some sort of soul gift from many lifetimes ago, or many lifetimes in general, and bring it into this lifetime and do something with it. Like you've got the power to do it, even if you don't think so. But not pushing on anything too quickly until you have all this information, until you've discovered what needs to release, and let those things go. Until you've embraced all your quirks and things as well. What makes you you, and the only you. There's only one you, is what I was trying to say here. Yeah. Starseed. Raise the vibration of the planet through your radiant, loving light. Yes, okay. So if some of you wonder, like, I'm really not of this earth, I feel like I was dropped off this planet from another planet, and it just doesn't make sense here for me. I don't belong here. Probably because there's some truth to that. And you have starseed origins, where you are from a different planetary place that makes more sense to you, where this world can feel really strange and like you're not the weird one, right? When you really think about it and sit with that energy, that's likely why. And that happens to a lot of people who are trying to understand why they feel so different or so foreign or like an alien on this planet. It's because those people tend to have come from places in the stars with different talents and gifts that are not necessarily appreciated in this human life form on this earth plane. But that energy is rising, and I think that you're meant to be here to bring more of this beautiful, quirky energy, which is actually just beautiful, clear light that brings about positive changes for humanity. You're meant to lean into that more and bring more of that out. And I just feel like it feels not safe to you, or a little weird, or like you're a little too weird. Release. Wow. Okay. Release anything that keeps you from your path of authenticity. This is such a strong message. And again, I can't reiterate enough that whenever the Starseed card gets pulled for people, there's always something around hiding in the shadows, feeling too weird, feeling like you are too quirky, like you're not going to be appreciated, that you're just too strange and no one's ever going to get you or understand you. I promise you that's not going to be the case. Message for, I can't promise you that nobody will have negative things to say. That's just the nature of life. We're all, get put under the microscope by people from times and judged. But I feel like you could find like-minded people, and the right community feels just like you, like an alien dropped off on this planet who doesn't belong here, but holds so much light, so many gifts and talents that humanity needs. This is you. This is your energy to be leaning into at this time, to release the things that stop you from showing up authentically and bringing this energy to the world in some way. It's needed. You are a light. You are a unique spark. And I feel like this lunation is just highlighting the need to release the things that make you feel less than, make you feel small, make you feel like you can't show up authentically, or that are maybe making you feel like you've got to push on something and not trust that something really positive and better is coming along after this release that connects you to your soul gifts and up levels them in a massive way to where we can attend to the details. Because remember, on a mundane level, on a practical level, there's definitely more information that's needed, and there are details that have been missed that need to be dealt with before moving forward with something. That's definitely a part of this message here. You're likely to connect to what those details are too under this lunation if you give yourself over some time for this release. Owl observation. You are being encouraged to look beyond deceiving appearances into the true reality of a situation or a person's motives. Excuse me. You need to hear what is really being said, despite the words and emotions coming from the messenger. Interesting. So owls are connected to clairaudience as well. So hearing, you might receive signs, synchronicities, and messages through sound and song. Just be mindful of that. Stay open to that. Also, trusting the timing here, right? And not pushing on something just yet, because you might not have all the details. Some of these details could have to do with another person who you should not be trying to forge a path with or follow. Rather be doing it your own way, because maybe they're not as trustworthy as you'd like them to be. Either way, a bit of a heads up here from Spirit. Observation. Encouraged to look beyond deceiving appearances. Giraffe and reflection. If you are facing a difficult situation, do not rush into making a decision. That's that timing card. You are advised to turn the problem around in all possible manners before deciding on a solution. Your circumstances need to be examined carefully. The details. You're getting a huge heads up here, message 4. Do not push on something. Do not try to make something happen before it's ready. Really step back. See what needs to be released. It's going to help you see the truth around something and your situation and what you want to do. And then you'll be able to have the full picture, all the wisdom, all the knowledge before you do the thing. Yeah, and as it says, before deciding on a solution, your circumstances need to be examined carefully. Those details. Missing something. There's something that's been missing. Information, wisdom. I really feel like all this is up for the offering for you under this lunation. Like, so for the days leading up and up to a week or two leading after the full moon. Jeez, can't talk. So be open to this. Just don't try to make something happen immediately or push something through just yet. Give pause before making any major decisions, because you're meant to be the one to forge a path and not follow anyone, to be the leader around something. And so being mindful of the company you keep and the people that you're trying to bring along with you seems like it's a really big, important thing for you to be paying attention to right now. And use your own intuition. You're all individuals. This is a general reading. You can bring the pieces together, connect the dots and see what it means for you. Because I do think some of you need to do that, and I haven't touched on it. All right, guys, I will leave that there. And I hope all of you have the most amazing, beautiful day. And really give yourself pause right now. I feel like it's going to be super important for you guys. All right. Take care, guys.